Hello and welcome to the first episode of Cliche CreepyPasta Storytelling. Today we're gonna read an unfamiliar creepypasta. This creepypasta. What the This creepypasta is known for being creepy. And it's known for being in a cliche kind of style. Yeah, and it's the last episode of Animaniacs. It's called Animaniacs. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Clock, original version. Well, you're all familiar with Animaniacs, and you are also familiar with the episode One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Clock, which had that squirrel who always kicks the ass of that dog with her nephew. Another squirrel who is brown. For some reason, they don't look the same. Anyway, the story of this episode is basically about the character going into a retirement home for retired characters. It's not that kind of episode which you expect something creepy or something with hyper-realistic blood. Oh my goodness! No, it's just normal. But this creepypasta has a much darker version. Like I said, it had hyper-realistic blood. I'm just joking. Anyway, let's dive in and read the pasta. Remember that show, Animaniacs? If so, there is one episode you may know called One Flew Over the Cuckoo Clock, in which Slappy Squirrel is put into a nursing home for retired cartoon characters. You can find both parts with the final version on YouTube, but one video that I have yet to see surfacing on the internet is the original, darker version. You may remember this was already one of the darkest episodes in the series, but the version you've probably seen is incredibly lighthearted compared to the one originally meant to be aired. The producers of the show, however, liked the story and decided to clean it up to make it suitable for airing. The original episode is as follows. As usual, the episode starts with Slappy flipping through the channels, watching ridiculous topics of the talk shows. The episode continues as you've seen it in the revised version until Skippy walks into the kitchen to see the toaster smoking. "Aunt Slappy, what are you doing?" he asks her. "Toasting my hat, what else?" she replied. Skippy runs forward to the toaster, pulling the hat out, which he had caught on fire during its time in the toaster. Skippy then tries to shake the fire out, but it spreads to his fur. The flames engulfed him as high-pitched screams and the clock saying "Cuckoo" 4 times ringing through the treehouse. Slappy screams her nephew's name, horrified upon realizing that he had been killed by flames. A tear glints in her eye, and she says, roasted squirrel. Squirrels who eat other squirrels. Next on Murray, the insanity starting to show more prominently in her voice. Slappy then begins to peel the scrooged fur from Skippy's flesh, chewing off chunks of the meat and shoving them into her mouth. Sirens can be heard in the distance and are the only sound besides Slappy repeating the word "cuckoo" over and over again for about a minute before there is a knock on the door. 2 officers stood there.
"Miss Squirrel, is everything okay?"
they asked, peering into the house. One officer sees Skippy laying on the kitchen floor and pushes past Slappy, headed toward the kitchen. Upon a brief interrogation with Slappy, they decided that she was unstable and brought her into a mental institution for retired cartoon characters. Slappy was taken to the institution where she tried to escape several times, each time repeating the word, "Skippy needs me. Where is he? Where is Skippy?" "Miss Squirrel, don't you remember what happened to Skippy?" a nurse asked her once she had failed her last attempt at escaping. "Of course I do. Skippy came home from school and we watched television together and had lunch." "Miss Squirrel," the nurse said in a sympathetic whisper, "there was an accident, remember? Skippy was burned fatally. You tore the flesh from his bone and ate it. You cannibalized him. Your own nephew. Skippy is dead. That's why he hasn't been visiting." Slappy started to scream in agony at the nurse's words. The screaming became louder and louder until it was deafening. And then an orderly was seized approaching Slappy with a needle. The screen went black. After about 10 seconds, the picture faded back in, showing Slappy in a straitjacket. She sat on her bed, rocking back and forth. "Skippy needs me with him," she whispered. Slappy screamed once more before brutally beating her head against the wall. The sound grabbed the attention of one of the doctors, and he came into the room with the same nurse who had given Slappy the sedative earlier. Having the nurse hold her down, the doctor looked at Slappy with an expression showing genuine sadness, a strange thing to see in Animaniacs. A few barely audible words were whispered between the nurse and the doctor. The only one I could make out was lobotomy. The picture cut to Slappy in a sterile-looking room, still in her straitjacket. The doctor moved in slowly, as if not to startle his patient. When he got close enough, he inserted the loose stone through her eye socket, and then the screen went black, all except for Slappy's face as she started blankly at the camera. The credits then rolled, playing unusually ominous music for the show. Oh man, that pasta was so long. And now you're wondering if this is real. Well, even if it's not real, it's still believable to me. Actually, it's a unique creepypasta. It's so unique that it's not the same as other lost episode creepypastas, not counting Squid or Suicide, because it was one of the original lost episode past anyway. Now, all I gotta say is that I love Animaniacs, and I love it if they made another creepypasta about Animaniacs, because I love it when I see a cartoon that I admire and love turned into a much darker version. Like for example, Courage the Cowardly Dog, the lost episode, which I'm going to read next time, maybe in the future. Anyway, that's all. I give this pasta an 8 out of 10, but that's just my opinion. I give it this kind of rating because it's unique and it's original from my perspective. Anyway, I was Cool Red 96 from Blue Thunder Reviews saying have a nice and peaceful Friday the 13th. See you later, bye.